The Clash was a thing that took place. I wasn't going to make a video because I really just have no energy whatsoever, but I'm bored, so here we are. I also know that everyone else has already made a video already, so I'm probably going to say things that people have already said, but I really don't care at this point. Let's just talk about the Clash. So, the Clash was indeed a thing that happened. It was interesting. I'm not sure where to begin because we had two races that took place over this weekend. We actually have one tonight. We have K&N East, or fucking ARCA East, whatever the hell they're calling it now. That's starting on a Monday night, which I'm not complaining because it gives me something to occupy my life tonight. And if it, was a different day, I would have nothing to do tonight. So, hey, what you gonna do? I suppose this isn't the worst thing in the world. So I mean, really, what is there to say like that? Like the Clash was... I'm struggling to understand why it even exists anymore. I'm struggling to understand why it exists to begin with, because it hasn't, there hasn't been a memorable Clash since, 2015, and even then, there's just it's like the race just gets to be more and more of a drag every single year. It's just like, what's the purpose of this anymore? Why does it even exist? And I mean, I don't really want it to go away because it's a thing that exists. You have 3 months of waiting for racing to come back, and it's always terrible, but I mean, it's still a thing. So it's still better than waiting an entire week for a Daytona 500. That's probably going to disappoint anyway, because it usually does. But so I made the post on Twitter. I don't remember what it was word for word. I think I actually had a better thought out tweet in my head, but then I got distracted for 10 minutes and I had to try and remember what it was. But the gist of the tweet was that these guys spend, the first 90% of the race just riding around single file. So they have no idea how the package works. They have no idea how to race side by side. They have no idea how to bump each other in the draft. They don't know how to make moves. All that happens is that they wreck the fucking cars because they don't know how to race them, because they spend 90% of the race just riding around fucking single file. So it should be no surprise that every single fucking plate race, we see the people who already know how to drive the plate races, such as Hamlin and Keselowski, they're always winning every plate race because they're the only ones who know how to drive it, because everyone else is too busy just riding around single file. So it should be no surprise that everyone dies every single race and the same people keep winning. It should make complete sense in that, it's the same outcome every single race. It's the same race every single race. And even though they cut the field in half and the race by 60% of the laps, it doesn't matter. It's the same fucking race. Why do I have a feeling that this was just a sneak peek into the Daytona 500? Because I made the prediction in the predictions video that less than 10 cars were going to finish on the lead lap of every single plate race. This is why these are supposed to be the best of the Cup Series drivers. We cut out Rick Ware Racing. We cut out virtually every slow team in the field that's already inexperienced as it is and would probably cause the big one at every single plate race. We cut those guys out of the field and they still had 6 cars running at the end. They still wrecked 75% of the cars. And these are supposed to be the ones who are good. These are supposed to be the ones who are good. But they spend the entire race just single file, dude. They don't know how to race each other. They don't know how to do it. The package is great. I think that this is the best plate racing package since tandem drafting. I do. And we just can't see it in action because these guys are they're just so hopeless. There is no hope for plate racing anymore because they just don't care, dude. They just don't care. I haven't actually watched a lot of old plate races back, and by old I mean like 2000 to 2006, because the first time that I actually remember the fright training, the NASCAR signature fright training, the first instance of that I can actually remember is the 2000s. Oh yeah, did you hear that? Did you hear that? I finally changed my text tone. Oh, it's finally not Rick Allen anymore. Now instead of shut up Rick Allen, I have to say shut up David Draymond, but hey, what you gonna do? Okay, it's already old. The point that I was trying to make is that the first instance of fright training that I actually remember watching was the 2009 Spring Talladega plate race when like NASCAR was like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, and you gotta be careful. And everyone was like, okay, fuck you, we'll just ride. Fuck you, we'll just ride was supposed to be like the teenage angst of the drivers against NASCAR. Not a fucking mainline expectation. Not the main strategy of the first 90% of a race. Like, I guess they figured out they could just ride the entire race without, wrecking their cars. And it's like, oh, I guess we'll just ride for the first 90% of the race. And then we'll destroy the cars in the last 10 laps because no one knows how to race. Absolutely unbelievable. Just the absolute lack of tact in this field, You want to blame NASCAR and all our problems, and the blame of a lot of this shit rests on NASCAR's shoulders, but at the same time, it's like, guys, how are you supposed to be able to race for the win if you don't know how to race to begin with? Yeah, and then for some reason, some fucking things have the new tone, but then other fucking things have the old aggressive goes around. I don't have any goddamn idea why. I don't get it. It looks like Instagram works, my actual text messages work, but for some reason Outlook still does aggressive goes around. I don't want it anymore. I changed it. I don't fucking want it anymore. I hate my life. But yeah, the point that I'm trying to make is that these guys don't race for the entire fucking race, and then when it gets to the end, they wreck each other because they don't know how to race with the package. It's not NASCAR's fault. It kind of is because they don't really... It really is. Actually, you know what? It is NASCAR's fault because they kind of brought this upon themselves in the 2009 Spring Talladega race when they told the drivers to not do anything, and the drivers were like, okay, we won't do anything. And they didn't do anything. And then that became plate racing. But the strange thing is, 2009 was the year before tandem drafting. And I don't seem to remember a single instance of fright training in a tandem drafting race. Imagine that. Imagine that. How strange. How strange. How strange. Oh god, what's the fucking plate racing gonna look like in 2020? one when the Gen 7's on the track. I don't even want to think about it. It's probably going to be bad. They're probably going to it's probably going to be even worse than what Gen 6 used to be. They had to put, you know, a 10-story spoiler. You know that one car from the Cars movie where the spoiler has like 7 layers? Yeah, they had to put that bullshit on the cars before they could make drafting work and plate racing actually watchable again. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Anyway, this is surprisingly 10 minutes long. I really didn't even talk about the race itself. Like, the first 25 laps were... I don't want you anymore, Rick Allen. The first 25 laps of the race shouldn't have even been run because literally nothing happened. Like, absolutely nothing that happened in the first 25 laps had any bearing whatsoever on how the race played out. So it was literally pointless. There was no reason for the first 25 laps of the race to even exist. And, you know, it was kinda interesting, like this much. You know, you multiply this, which is a decimal, so we'll make it smaller, is what I'm trying to say. You multiply that. I would say divide, but if it was a decimal, it would actually be bigger if you divide a decimal. That's how math works, folks. There was no point in the first 25 laps. And, like, in the microscopically interesting fuel mileage situation, you know, it was like, you know, they're probably not going to make it. And, like, the people who pit were coming anyway, and they were going to, you know, just blow past them as it is. So, like, it was interesting for, like, the first 5 laps of the strategy. But then it was like, you know, whatever. I think what I was more interested in was when the faster guys were going to catch the slower guys. Like, that was inevitably when a caution was going to come out. And it was. Would you believe that the first dumbass block of the season is from the fucking 22? Could you believe that? Could you believe that the first fuckhead move of the season comes from the top tier fuckhead of the division? Who could have seen that coming? Who could have seen that coming? Wow. What a shocker. Your own fucking teammate called you out, you fucking retard, dude. I think Keselowski is getting forced out of Penske because they separated the best crew chief driver combination on the team for no fucking reason at all. They're trying to force Keselowski out, and they're put Tim Cindric's son in the fucking 2. I mean, it's not that bad because the only attachment that I have to the 2 car to begin with would be Rusty Wallace and then the Miller Lite scheme, which hasn't even been good since 2013. And since Miller Lite's fucked off and Rusty Wallace is out on some beach somewhere, you know, it's like, who cares? Put a fucking useless piece of shit in the 2 car. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Let him run 20th for the rest of his life. I don't give a shit. He's fucking useless. There's no reason to even care. Like, why? Who cares? Fuck off. I don't need this shit. So, yeah. ARCA was actually a decent race this year. ARCA at Daytona has not been good for a few years. Just like the shootout. And unlike the shootout, the ARCA race was actually good this year. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but, like, it wasn't fucking drop-dead boring. It kind of was, but, like, there were things that took place. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that Halie Deegan already has a confirmed kill on the season. I'm wondering if she can do the... if she can make her rounds this year and have at least one wrecked opponent this season in every single race. I'm interested to see if that could be a thing that happens, but, like, I'm still worried. Like, Deegan, I think, will perform better at DGR than she did at Venturini, because I feel like she was the least invested in Aventurina cars, but at the same time, if you're in a Venturini car, you need to be top 5 every single race. And that is not what Halie Deegan was. So I am definitely a worried man when it comes to that, but I think she'll actually perform better as the lead DGR driver than the 4th Venturini driver. Even though every single Venturini car should just sweep the top 4 positions every single race, you know. But at the same time, it's like, you know, that's how it goes. That's just how it goes. I don't know how she'll in actual races. I feel like she'll be fine at like 1.5-mile tracks, but like when we get to the actual short tracks, like that's when things are questionable. We'll have to see. I don't know what 1/4-mile tracks are on the ARCA racing schedule. That's where I expect her to perform the best. Is the 1/4-mile tracks. Yep. There's dirt races in ARCA, right? We still go to Springfield, don't we? Yeah, she'll probably do good in those races too. She'll probably fucking win those. Did she even lead a single lap in the ARCA? I don't think she did. She gets to continue her legacy of not leading any laps. Isn't that silly? Ain't that silly? Well, I wonder what that was. East tonight. Trucks Friday. We are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 4 days. 4 days away. 4 days away, people. 4 days. 4 days. Can't see this shit. I'm sorry. You didn't have to see that. Oh, Christ. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Kamikaze Games. I will see you in whatever video it is that I make next. I'm tired, dude. I have to work all fucking week, but I don't have to work any race. Any race day. All 3 races. We will be streaming. We will be streaming those fucking races. Live reactions. I'm trying to find my copy of Spider-Man 2. I kind of want to try that pizza % run that I tweeted about like months ago, but I can't find it. I haven't looked that hard, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to find it. I think I gave that game to someone and like might not ever see it again. What you going to do? I'm sure there's a copy on eBay I could snipe. In any case, thanks for watching. This has been Kamikaze Games, and I will see you next time. Bye!